Let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, a 15 plus Reckless Amoeba podcast. I am your host, Brandon Horvath, and I have a new microphone, so you could be hearing me a lot crisper and cleaner now. Maybe even a bit sexier. With me are my co-hosts, Brandon Palinger.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that thought out of my mind and pretend you didn't just say that.
and also with us, Ryan Stokely.
Yes, sexy, yeah, very.
See, at least he has the voice to go with it.
So, guys, did you hear the latest Evangelion rumor?
No. Was I supposed to?
3.0 plus 1.0 has a tentative release date of next year, and they're on the final part of the movie. It is rumored, if you are to believe one image, 6 hours long.
What the hell?
I don't know. There is just a bunch of Japanese writing with 5 hours, 59 minutes, 59.000 seconds. So nobody knows what that is supposed to mean.
It sounds like the ridiculous bullshit they pulled with Kingdom Hearts. Where like 13 was fucking everywhere, and then it's like, oh my god, it's been 13 years since fucking Kingdom Hearts 2, that Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. Like it got so ridiculously insane that it was like, I can't tell if this is just stupid level of coincidence or if there's actually something dumb going on here.
And the movie has the English subtitle Thrice Upon a Time. Although the rebuilds, which this is a part of, wasn't as good as the original series. And
that's what I keep hearing, is that, yeah, the rebuilds are just not as good.
They're half remake, half Final Fantasy VII remake, in the fact that it's quasi-sequel at the same time, because if I remember correctly, movie 1 played out exactly the same as the series. Movie 2, which was episodes 7 through 16 or something like that, played out different up until 16, which it takes a sudden right turn. Third impact happens, gets avoided, and then Gendo is working on making a fourth impact, which is a whole nother level of insanity there, and I have no idea what's going to happen in movie 4.
You know, and here I thought Gendo was just going to be some nice guy running an orphanage, and he'd slowly start losing orphans one by one through terrible experiments on human children. Because Gendo's a fucking monster.
Yeah? Although, I believe it was Shinji Ikari project or something like that. It was set in the alternate universe world of episode TV 26, where everybody was a normal high school student and there were no Evas, and it was a romantic comedy, and Gendo was just an average non-psychotic dad.
No, that's stupid. He needs to be like the most happy, heartening dad possible. He can't just be a normal dad. Like, he needs to be complete opposite of what he is. Like, he needs to come in and be like the fucking, like, hype-ass dad that's there for the school field trip to be a chaperone. He needs to start, like, tossing around candy to kids in the bus. Here are kids, go on, yeah, have this candy.
Mr. Ikari, I don't like white chocolate. Assume the Gendo pose. What do you mean you don't like
Yeah, right.
white
He
chocolate?
assumes it for comedy purposes. Like he shoves the teacher out of his desk and takes the desk and puts on the pose. It's just like, what do you mean you don't like white chocolate? And the kid like explains whatever it is, and then like Gendo just immediately like stands up, hands on the desk, and is just like, it's a good thing I have milk chocolate then. Who else wants some milk chocolate? Come on, kids. Complete and utter reversal. That's what it needs to be. You can't go halfway with this bullshit, because otherwise it's just not as funny. What was the teacher's name? I forget. Not the teacher. The girl that was watching over
Misato?
Shinji. Misato. She needs to be the teacher.
She was.
Perfect. Now, if only she's in love with one of her students, not Shinji specifically.
I don't think there's anything else I want to say at the moment.
Baldur's Gate 3 came out on early access, but I'm not going to touch that shit until it's maybe a little bit after full release so they can finish tweaking balancing shit.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been much of an update in other shit that I'm interested in. Oh, I did start playing Neo. Originally we were going to probably play that for the channel at some point, but I'm like, I don't know when the fuck we're getting to this, and I really want to play this. It's definitely interesting. Way more fast-paced than Dark Souls is, but nowhere near what Sekiro's like. There's a lot more like MMO-esque loot drops in this.
Oh.
Where like different pieces, you can get different like rarities of drops, and based on the rarities, there's more buffs to it. The control scheme's a lot harder to like comprehend at first, because like you have 3 different stances, which is like high, low, and mid. You have like a different subsection of weapons on each one, where it's like you have like the Obadachi, which is basically like your great sword or great katana. You have regular katanas. You have Kusurigamas, which are like the like little hand scythe, and then attached to the end is like the weighted chain that you swing around. Bows, flintlock pistol, or not pistols, flintlock rifles, and like old-fashioned blunderbuss essentially. Trying to remember what else there is that's interesting in there. Spears. Oh, you have tonfa, which are really cool. Dual blades.
Tonfas are like police batons, right?
Thicker, and you grip them by like the
Middle.
the single one that comes out in the middle.
Okay, so yeah, that's the thing I was thinking of.
Yes. I'm trying to think what else. I feel like there's one more weapon type that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Oh, hammer/axe. They more or less have the same moveset, but it's just visual differences, really. But yeah, you have different movesets for different stances, different weapons that have different combos. Some of those weapons have elemental shit on them already. It gets real complicated real fast, because you like can do different combo chains and shit on top of that. Plus, you also have skill trees in like your samurai and ninja and like magic points.
Ooh.
And you have like a what is it called? A like a guardian spirit who's just like cruising along with you, and you can swap between any guardian spirit that you gather, which has they give you different stat boosts depending on which one you have. And you get like an ultimate weapon that you can bring out, which is like a giant glowing sword or whatever it is for other weapons. I've only really used it on the Obadachi.
Oh, and one other thing, bringing it back to video games. Did you hear the PlayStation 5 thing?
Which one?
Where the X button and the circle button has finally changed in Japan.
I'm kind of shocked that they would even change it at all, because it just doesn't feel like a Japan thing to do.
Yeah, because I believe their logic is circle is confirmed, X is cancel, and after 26 years, they're changing it.
I mean, because it's always been that way for them. Like, I'm shocked that they would do that. It wouldn't shock me as if in an international version of the console, they would switch it for stupid European and Americans like us. But I'm shocked that they would change it for themselves. That's gonna like mess me up because I'm so used to being like, yeah, X, yep, that's the one, yep, That's gonna fuck me up when I get one of those things.
Yeah.
Oh, I also heard news, speaking of the PS5, literally every single PS4 game, other than like 10 random ass ones that I don't think anybody either knows about or doesn't care about, are all going to be backwards compatible with the system.
Isn't that how it normally is?
No.
Oh.
There are some games where sometimes it just does not work with the new console. Like the way the game is built from the ground up just does not work with it for whatever reason. Xbox, to be fair, has, like, as shitty as their naming convention is, has done pretty well with that. The problem with PS4 or PS5 is that PS3 fucked up everything. Now, if you want to ask me why they can't make it read PS2 and PS1 discs, I don't know. Maybe it's because cramming in a laser reader and a Blu-ray reader is a problem. I'm not sure. Because I know, like, that was part of the reason the original PS3 was shit. Or not shit, but like why it was so big was because they basically duct taped a PS2 to a PS3. Yeah, other than that, can't think of anything else. So, in short, Neo's fun. It's extremely complicated on the control scheme, but I'm slowly getting a handle on it. Though a lot of my consumable things I've not been using just because it's like I have no idea what any of these do. Like one of them's straight up just, you put on a mask and you breathe fire for a little bit.
Ooh.
And it's just like, what? And yeah, the PS5 is still sounding like something I'm going to want to buy whenever that happens.
Anything on your end, Ryan?
No.
Besides having a weird dog?
Yeah. He was just running around.
Yep, sounds like a dog thing to do.
Yeah, it sounded like 90 people are upstairs and he's just like running around in a circle.
So, Ryan.
Yeah.
Today's anime is the Junji Ito collection.
Okay. Is it alright, like a collection? Like, is it an actual collection? Or is that the name of the show?
That's the
name of the show.
What's it? One more time?
The Junji Ito collection.
Yeah, I don't even know what that would be at all.
Go on. Just blank.
Yeah.
We got him, guys. We finally stumped him.
Yes.
About a toy collector? I don't know.
Damn it, he had an idea.
That's all I got.
Are you familiar with Uzumaki? Tomy.
Tomie.
What are some of his other big ones?
Uzumaki's the one I always know. I don't know most of the other ones, but Uzumaki's the one I always hear about.
But this guy is one of Japan's most prolific horror writers.
He was also going to work on Silent Hills while that was still a thing.
Oh my god, that would have been freaky.
He was going to work on it with fucking
Del Toro.
Yeah,
Del Toro and God, I hate it when I can't remember names.
Metal Gear guy.
Yes, Metal Gear guy. It's the worst.
Kojima.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's with Kojumbo. Yes.
Kojumbo?
Yes, good old Kojumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was going to be like those three culminating on that when it was a thing. And then Konami said, fuck you, no. Get out of our office.
I did not hear Ito was going to be part of this.
He was going to be part of it. Everyone was hype on the idea, and then it just didn't happen. Although there's been rumors floating around for a little bit that horror might be Kojima's next project, which means he might be bringing the band back together. Who knows?
Ooh.
It would be real cool to see like a Junji Ito inspired or even worked on game to see what the hell he would do.
Yeah.
Especially with someone like Kojima who's just gonna go balls to the wall insane with it.
I did hear there is going to be a new miniseries heading to Adult Swim next year, made by Ito.
Ooh, all right. I mean, you know, we're both, and this is, I think, why we were originally going to do this one before the other one that we did before Corpse Party, and then you're like, oh, hey, why don't we swap these? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Because I forgot. I thought the reason we were going to do this one first was because it's not as good as it should be.
Yeah, I thought this one was going to be creepier than Corpse Party.
Yeah, no, I remember getting like the distinct impression from other people talking about it that it just was not as good as it should be.
Granted, it's still good, it's still creepy, but you were saying he's the master of the horror page turn.
He leads you into suspense all the way up until you turn the page, and then you're slapped with the horror of the image right in front of you. They didn't translate that well in this thing.
Yeah, since it flows so smoothly, since it's animation, there's no build-up of you physically.
Well, I was gonna say that and like it's 15 minutes per story because this is an anthology. So there's just not as much time for it.
So it's like what the heck? Like the Crypt Keeper?
Kind of, except there's no like narrator for it.
Or what's a better
Twilight Zone?
Yeah, Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just no like central person narrating or bringing you into it.
Yeah.
So you don't there's not a story to follow, it's all that's cool. How many episodes are there?
There is / isn't. Like there are characters that reoccur.
Oh, wait, does it take place in a certain like city or something?
It's spread all around, but sometimes you pop into one of the previous characters you've seen before again.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So, you know, like there's 3 different short, like 15-minute stories in these where it's like the same kid that we've seen before.
And he is the worst.
Yeah, he's a douche.
I would say he's my favorite character, and I would just love a series just about him.
Mm-hmm. So, like, here's actually a perfect way of doing this. Let me see here. Oh, by the way, I was actually going to ask you this, and I didn't get the chance before. So, when I told you go take a look at Window Next Door's manga version, did you do that?
I completely forgot.
So, here's a good way to look at it. Let me pull this up. So, here is the image from the anime.
Jesus Christ.
Now, if you think that's bad, it's not good, honestly. Rather than doing the detail, they give her skin like a different texture, which just doesn't look as good. Now let me pull up the manga version of this. Here we go. Perfect. This image will work. So, and this is part of the reason why I'm like, maybe this should have been done in black and white instead of color. There's the manga version of that girl.
Oh!
You can see the drastic difference.
Yeah. She has like fucking warts and pock marks and shit.
Yeah.
All over her face.
Yeah. And while I know that's way more difficult to do in animation than you got to simplify it, I feel like they did it way too much.
So I was reading about some of these stories on the Junji Ito collection wiki page, which gives you a plot outline of all the manga versions. Granted, I couldn't find anything about the anime on it, even like little sub notes, but Oh yeah, they do cut out large chunks of some of these stories to make it fit in the 10-minute time slot.
Yeah. And that's what I said, what you and I were talking about it before, was like they could totally, even besides just adding those in, they could extend some of those things too to keep building up the suspense. Like, let's go back to fucking the window next door here that I mentioned, right? I mentioned to you before that the kid, we get like a little snippet of his time in the day, right? Like somebody looking out their peephole on their door, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like just him walking down the street. That's literally all we get as far as his day goes. We could have made this. You could have totally given him some time at school, just thinking about like what the fuck's going to happen tonight. Now, what the shit is going to happen this time? Like you could totally have just slotted that in. It would have fit fine, and it would have helped build suspense more.
Yeah, like some of these could be the full half hour instead of like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling like.
So there's like 2 or 3.
There's 2 per episode, 2 short stories per episode, and there's like 13 episodes total.
Okay.
You could probably watch them in literally any order. It wouldn't matter. Come on. Don't we want to see the convenient curses?
Yes. The Curse of Nail Boy.
It's true. Like this kid we're talking about, Suichi. Dude is fucked up. Like, he fucks with everyone, and he's just the littlest piece of shit. He randomly just like chews on nails and spits them out at people, like he's firing them out of a blowgun almost. But it's just his mouth doing that.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Anybody that he thinks, even like the most slightest of things, he starts doing like fucking old Japanese curses on them or something like that. Like, literally, there's one where he like made a kid hibernate like a frog would. So like the kid is found later like buried up to his neck in the dirt, sleeping.
What the hell?
He
like just randomly in the woods.
He transplants souls into puppets and has the puppet play with him.
Yeah, like life-size dolls.
It's like the teacher is a quote-unquote mean teacher, probably because the teacher snaps at him for acting like such a dick in the middle of class. So he makes the teacher his best friend, to the point of a teacher playing with him winds up inadvertently pantsing him and making Soichi super embarrassed.
So now we gotta curse the kid who pantsed him. That's simple.
The curse of the pantsing.
I mean, one of the curses was literally he grew a beard.
Oh no.
Like a scratchy beard.
He's in 5th grade though.
It's yes, these are 5th graders.
He's not like Abraham Lincoln or anything.
No, it's like a little more than 5 o'clock shadow.
Okay.
He's like, I'm in 5th grade. I'm not supposed to have a beard. I mean, by
Although,
fun of me.
I was gonna say the voice actor's got a pretty deep voice though, so it's you know it's a little weird, but it's already you've got a deep voice.
Kind of funny.
Did you listen to the English dub?
Japanese.
Ah, I listened to the English dub.
Oh, they have an English.
Except for the 13th episode OVA, I could not find that anywhere in English.
I watched it on Verve.
I watched it on GoGo Anime and Crunchyroll, and for some reason, Crunchyroll has the Japanese dub and the Russian dub.
Nice.
All right, that's a little weird, but okay.
Yeah, GoGo Anime has the English dub. And one thing I found interesting about the Japanese dub, only like 6 or 7 people did all of the voices.
Oh, wow, impressive.
While almost every character in the English dub was voiced by somebody different. Regardless.
That's like super, sorry, that's super impressive because I didn't even notice any overlap in those voices.
regardless of, oh, you only have a 3-minute episode to go with, because some of these are really, really short, because they're based on 8-page mangas, and you can't really do that much with 8 pages. So you have 5 lines. Okay, nice working with you. Here's your paycheck. Goodbye.
Come on, man. Don't you want to get smashed?
Oh my god.
That one was pretty good. I liked that one.
That one was really interesting.
Yes. So that one, Orion, that we're talking about. So
Yeah.
there's some explorer dude who's like coming out of the jungles of South America, and he's managed to get his hands on what he calls a nectar. I'm not sure what the English dub called it.
Nectar.
Okay, so they did one with the same thing. Okay, so he gets like a nectar out of there, right? And he's told by the locals, just don't be seen or don't be noticed while you're eating it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any idea what the fuck that means, and he shares a little bit with his friend and gives him that little bit of advice, and he's like, yo, the locals told me don't be noticed when you eat this. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? I have no idea.
But it is delicious to the point of addiction.
So you remember when Brandon gave us those like cheese crackers and told us this is going to ruin cheese crackers for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this ruins everything because nothing tastes anywhere near as good as this.
Oh crap, I don't think I posted the cheese cracker video yet. Shit. Okay, I should get on that.
Dude, real quick though, I believe it might be Cheez-Its. It's either Cheez-Its or what the heck? So I forget.
Cheese snaps?
Yeah, those cheese snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Those new ones that just came out.
Yeah.
Those are really good. Like they're flavor blasted.
Yes. I had some before. They're very good.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to have those cheese nips again.
But yes.
But
so the thing they discover when a group of friends, the friend that it was shared with first, brings the rest of their friends along as a group and tries to get in to taste some. The original explorer dude is not answering the door. So they're like, oh, let's just go in the window because it's open. You know, he won't mind, as you do.
Yeah.
And then they just see like a weird splatter on the wall as they're tasting it. And they're like, huh, I wonder what that is. And then one of them literally is slapped flat.
Like how? Like a hand just comes down and slaps them?
No, they're literally just a flat splatter on a wall in like a single frame.
That is weird.
And they're all freaking out because it's happening right in front of them. Like eventually, I think it whittles down to like 3 of them.
Yeah.
They're all losing their minds because it's been like weeks and nothing, like they can't eat anything else because nothing tastes like anything. And they just don't have the will to eat it.
And the one friend is passing out the nectar as experiments on how not to get noticed. So there's a lot of mysterious murders happening.
Mm-hmm. Eventually it gets to the point where one of them is like literally one of them dies in front of the other one again. The one girl that was left goes insane, runs out into the middle of like a river. They're like, look, something big came out of the sky and flattened him. It can't get me in the water. And then she starts eating it in the water, and then she's flattened in there. And I guess the last guy that had gotten flattened, that was among the 3 of them, had the map that he must have taken from his buddy's apartment to find out where the stuff is from, where the nectar's from. So he goes out to get more, stumbles across the giant tree thing that the stuff is coming from.
And it is literally a tree thing.
I say a tree because it's in the shape of a tree, but instead of like actual limbs of like your classic tree limbs, it's got giant whip-like hands with like arms with giant flat hands on the end almost.
that vanish.
And then he gets flattened. And I know, you know what was really good? They started off the episode with the Explorer dude leaving and slapping and squashing a mosquito. So to that tree, humans are mosquitoes. Sucking its blood.
Okay.
That's why you don't want to get noticed. You want to be a mosquito.
And I just looked. I think you're either talking about Cheez-It Snapped or the new Ritz Cheese Crispers.
The Ritz. I couldn't think of the damn
Okay,
thing.
so the Ritz I have not had.
The cheese crispers, dude. Wow, they're pretty good.
I might have to pick some up.
So I did find Honored. Like you were saying, a lot of these weren't like too scary. There were some creepy bits and some were just depressing.
Yeah.
Which ones were depressing? I'm curious which ones you pick.
The Gentle Goodbye.
Yeah, that one is. Used Record is kind of depressing too.
Yeah. There was a third, but I can't remember it at the moment.
Greased is depressing.
That, yes.
So, give you a brief rundown, Orion. Gentle is basically a family has a way to like summon essentially the ghost of the dead, but it's more of a memory than it is an actual spirit.
The English dub called it After Images.
Yes, that's the word. That's the term they used. They called them after images. They generally last about 20 years. They help the living to get over the loss of the deceased, and they gradually fade away as time goes on. Well, you know, we get the classic. See, that's the one where I thought we were going to get the twist, where I thought, oh, her dad's already an after image, but no, we got the twist that she herself is the after image.
Damn, she
like
was
the main
dead
character. Yep, we got that classic one.
Damn.
The used record was essentially just like, here's a record that apparently was recorded after the singer had already died. So the record gets people get obsessed with the sound of the record, either because it's cursed like that or whatever. And it seems like anyone who gets their hand on the record eventually dies, like a tragic death. And their voices join the singers. And then what was the other one? Greased. Greased was essentially like the father works in a really shitty restaurant and the kids live in the same I guess it's building. I guess it's like an attached thing. Yeah. And because the grease is so bad, like the daughter gets to the point of like being able to tell how saturated the air is with the grease and the oil.
Okay.
The older brother, the son, is literally drinking the oil for whatever reason.
Ew.
And he's just a constant bully to his younger sister, to the point where like he's getting made fun of when he goes to high school because he's all pimply.
Oh, is that the picture you showed?
Nope, that is Window Next Door. Okay. I'll explain that one in a minute. So she sees him getting like picked on and made fun of and shit. Thinks she's in on it, either because he wants an excuse to take it out on someone or because he actually believes that. It's kind of up in the air. He ends up like going to beat up on her and is like, oh, you're making fun of me for my pimples. Then here, how would I give you all the oil out of my face? And he starts like popping all the zits at once on her. And then her dad like comes in, kills him, and is essentially selling off his...
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, it gets worse, yeah. Because the dad then uses that his son as a way to sell like really top quality beef, quote unquote beef, to the customers.
What the?
And then now that delicious grease monkey's gone, we're gonna go ahead and just start shoving oil into the daughter's mouth while she's sleeping.
Dude, why the dad just goes insane?
I'm assuming he was already insane, but yes. Because apparently he ends up, when he fails to like catch his daughter, and get her to be the next meal, he cuts off his own leg and just starts chopping it as part of it.
And he no longer has blood.
Yes, his blood has been replaced by the oil.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? I forget what I saw it from. There was like a movie or maybe a game I played where there's like a butcher who's also a pig.
That the Courage the Cowardly Dog, isn't it?
Maybe. But they were like cutting pieces of themselves off and selling it.
I know that was the implication, or that they were using customers in the Courage the Cowardly Dog episode.
Okay.
That was going to be the case, but I don't know if that's specifically the one you're talking about.
I'm not sure. I'd have to like look it up or something. Yeah.
Also, in Cat Soup, which we covered way back.
That's what it was. Yeah.
With like the pig like serving himself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of forgot I showed you that.
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago at least.
Yeah.
All right.
So
yeah, Window Next Door is essentially this family moves in to a new house.
Mm-hmm.
And their next door neighbor has a house where there's only a single window and it's pointed toward, the new family's house. And when they're like, oh, come on, let's meet the neighbors and start ringing the doorbell, lady or whoever lives in that house never shows up, doesn't answer the door. It's like, well, they must be out. They ask around the town, be like, hey, what's up with this house? Nobody's answering. Do they just work at night or work at night or out during the day or what? And they're like, nah. Some lady lives there. There's always a light on at night, so we assume that she's home. Somebody's obviously living there. So the kid's room is directly across from that window. And as he's going to sleep, the lady there is calling out to him. Oh, young boy, are you asleep, young boy? Why don't you show me your face? So, you get that lead up to the point of boy opening window and seeing a horrifying face that I posted in chat for you guys.
Yeah.
He slams it and starts freaking out. Cue next day, she starts talking about, oh, I'm going to come over, young boy. You wouldn't come over to my house. I had such delicious sweets for you.
Ew.
I'm going to come over, young boy. And she's got like a washing pole or something and tries to he eventually opens the window because he keeps hearing the voice and is like, she's coming over. Oh shit, what does that mean? Opens the window and she's there holding this laundry pole. He's like, just grab the pole, young boy, and I'll come over. He knocks the pole out of her, away, and it slips out of her hand. And then he runs to his parents, and he's like, Mom, Dad, quick, look, some crazy lady. And they come into the window. It's like, well, the window's closed. They look down into, the bottom of the alley between their houses, and it's like, there's no laundry pole down there. All right, kid, you're crazy. And then we get the next night of this real creepy first person perspective of the lady's hands reaching out. We have her perspective. It's like, I'm coming closer, young boy. Oh, I'm so close. Oh, I'm so close, young boy. And then it cuts to the next day and the window and the entire building. Actually, you know what? Here, perfect. I have a better idea. Here, I can literally show you. This will be the manga page, so it's probably going to be way more disgusting. But there you go. That is the next and final page.
It glows like some flesh thing.
Yes.
What the hell? Whoa. I thought she would have been in his bedroom or something.
Oh, that would have totally happened if he would have let it happen. Junji Ito seems to love body horror. That seems to be his bread and butter. There's an episode, actually there's a couple, where this girl Tomie shows up. And she's kind of immortal?
Yeah, I always thought it was Tomi, but...
No, the name in the Japanese is Tomie.
That's how they pronounce it in the English dub too, but I always thought it was Tomie. Tomie.
Whenever there's an E at the end in Japanese, it always sounds like an A. So they just kept the same name. They didn't change it there.
Okay. But Tomie has, I think, 8 live action movies. So Tomie is like his trademark character, I would say.
One of the ones that keeps recurring for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if there's like some backstory to how she exists as she does.
I heard she's a succubus.
A succubus that can multiply?
I don't know. I was just watching like a video before this about who exactly Tomie is, and the person was alluding to the fact she was a succubus, and I'm like, ooh, it's time for another video. Oh crap, look at the time. I don't have time to watch another video.
I don't know how accurate that would be, because a succubus's whole point is to like quite literally fuck men to the point that they die of exhaustion.
Well, the guy
suck out their life essence.
The guy was saying not all succubuses are sex related. That's just what most people think. But the original idea of a succubus was just to drain the life of man. I guess like the whole eroticism of sex got placed in somewhere along the line, and that's what we think succubuses are now.
It's basically like
well, I mean, I was going to
call psychic vampires.
I was going to say she's not even draining the life though. She's just having them kill themselves, or her. Like she's just making everyone miserable in the end.
Yeah, but that's like the whole point.
Yeah, but the idea of draining though is not there.
Yeah.
He actually showed some manga pages in the video saying how all of Tomie's victims always look weaker with like sunken eyes by the time they snap.
Like I wonder, maybe there's inspiration from it, but he seems to pull a lot more from like Japanese culture in that way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I gotta wonder what specifically Tomie would be based on as far as Japanese culture goes.
If I remember to, I will post the video I saw in the comments. I mean, in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with like American and like some Bannock and Sweden like lore, like with cryptids and stuff, but
oh shit,
not much of Japanese.
But we were saying how Tomie is immortal because you can stab her, you can like chop her arm off, and much like a starfish, she will regrow any lost limbs.
Not even that. A new Tomie grows from every single limb lost, or every single piece missing.
And according to the movies, Tomie's worst enemy is herself. To the point she will go psychotic and try to kill any other duplicate she sees.
I was gonna say, I was wondering how, like, if there's this many Tomies, how do they not get in each other's way? By the way, I just found something because I pulled up the wiki for Tomie.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there was a crossover in 2018 where she and Soichi get into the same comic.
Oh my god. In episode 12, there was Shark Model and Soichi in the same comic.
Yeah, the creepy ass model, yes. He was like half shark almost.
Who I heard was going to be a lot more shark-like, but due to some shark attack or something like that, Junji had to like revamp his ideas slightly to make her less shark-like.
I looked at it as a shark when I first saw it, but like now that idea is in my head, I can totally see the similarities between that design and a shark.
Yeah, she's like freakishly tall, has this unsettling stare, and everybody's like, oh, she's a beautiful model.
She's a makeup model. Like, she's got shit in magazines, but she has razor fucking shark teeth and eats people.
Yeah? I'm just wondering how Soichi got away from her.
That would be a very good question.
So
What about the supernatural transfer student?
Oh,
Where everything just went tits up.
I would just love to see maybe like a 6-episode miniseries about them fighting each other.
Well, I mean, like, they got fucking DBZ powers out of nowhere.
Yes, I would just love to see how, like, deranged LSD levels of insanity they can push that.
So the story behind this one is, Orion, a new transfer student shows up in the school, and he joins the Supernatural Club. But since he started showing up, shit's been getting weird. Like, literally, there was a flowers, some flowers that showed up
with eyeballs.
Yeah, eyeballs replace the flower at the end of the stem. And like one of the characters is like, I dissected that thing, and it's like it's an actual eyeball in there. Like, it's exactly the same. They're flowers. They're grown.
The kid's like, hey, check out this cool waterfall I found. What are you talking about? There's no waterfalls around here. Yeah, it's right down this trail. We go down this trail for cross country, and we never pass by a waterfall. Oh, you can almost hear it now. And everybody's like, what's that noise? It sounds like a waterfall. And there's a waterfall there.
And then he zaps a flying pigeon and is like, look, if you stood under the waterfall, I got this weird power. Maybe if you go too, you have it. And this is a guy who already has, like, spoon bending mind powers. And he's like, I need to be better. This is kind of boring as a power. I need to be cooler. And while everyone's staring at the bird, he goes to go and get his power, which one of his friends shoves him in there and he dies, probably between the fall or a drowning or one of the two, or both. And he comes back as a blob that now has, like, the ability to shoot lasers from his hands. Like,
and it's like, wait, what happened to that neighborhood? It's all Maui heads now.
Yeah, my house used to be here, and now it's just gone. And now it's replaced by all these Maui heads.
Hey, isn't this cool? Look, all these Maui heads are here. Boy, these are some serious supernatural adventures, huh, gang?
You shouldn't be freaking out. This should be the best thing ever for you guys.
You are the Supernatural Club, right?
Oh, you know what? He eventually leaves, as well as the other guy who murdered his best buddy. Well, the club member, who also got superpowers because he shoved the guy out of the way so we wouldn't get him. So they both leave, one searching for the other one. And the town returns to normal, and everyone's like, what the fuck happened, man? Nobody knows where they went.
But I would just love to see the continuing adventures, because you could turn that so horror shonen.
Well, here's what I'm wondering, right? Is this where all this crazy bullshit is coming from? Is this guy the supernatural transfer student?
Oh,
is all the fucked up shit coming from him? Like, starting off there?
Ooh, that could be a very interesting way to put it.
Oh, speaking of Tomiya, we didn't get into any of her stories, but so let's just go with the first one. I think where we get introduced to her, which is the painter.
The OVA was the very first story he ever did.
Chronologically,
Tomiya.
yes, but I was talking in the collection here.
Yeah. But just saying, like, Tomiya was his first work and probably his most famous, if not for Uzumaki.
So, yes, the painter. Painter has a model. He made some really nice paintings with it. He's at one of his opening shows where he's showing off all of his work. Tomiya walks in and starts chuckling at the paintings. And he comes up to her and is like, so, penny for your thoughts, what do you think? It's like, oh, looks beautiful, but when you look closely at her face, she's really making this weird expression. I can't help but laugh. And he's like, I guess, yeah. It's like, you could do with a better model, like me, for instance. Eventually, she busts into his house, tells off the other model that he's painting at the time that, he wanted to break things off with you. I'm clearly the better model here. And that he just hates the way you look anymore. You no longer inspire him. And, the original model runs off, sad and pissed. And now the painter's there trying to paint Tomiya. And when he shows her his finished work, she like laughs and says, "That's hilarious. That's literally the worst. You only captured like 10% of my beauty, and I wanted it immortalized. Nice try, but I don't have time for pathetic losers." So he's now obsessed trying to paint her, even though she's not here as a model anymore. He keeps trying and thinking he's doing a good job and breaks his canvases because he can't do it right. Eventually, he's drinking in a bar, and a buddy of his comes up and he's like, "Oh, hey, did you hear about the new guy? The sculptor dude? He's releasing a lot of sculptures. Apparently, he met this new model that really got him interested. Can't remember her name though. I guess the series is named after her. And then I forget how it's brought up, but he says Tomie's name, and he's like, "Yeah, that's it. The name's Tomie." Next thing you know, you have the crazed painter coming over to the sculptor's house, being like, "I need to see these sculptures. I need to see how you did it. Did you really capture her beauty? I need to see." The sculptor's like, "Nah, I'm not letting you in, dude." The painter forces his way in, grabs one of the busts, and smashes the skull of the sculptor in.
Oh, God.
It's like, "All right, now I can finally see it." And he rushes in, and there's Tomie in the corner with a bunch of smashed sculptures all around her. She runs into the painter's arms and goes, "Oh, I was so scared. He started smashing them all, and I thought he was going to kill me. Oh, I was so scared." And then she lets a line like this go, where it's like, "I've kind of been in these situations before where somebody's loved me and tried to kill me." Well, we move on to the painter trying to capture it again. And this time the painting actually kind of reflects her a bit more closely, where it shows Tomie, but like another face ripping away from her. It's like, "What's wrong?" Like she starts like saying, "What the fuck is that? What is that piece of shit? What did you do? That's a joke, right?" It's like, "What? What's wrong with my masterpiece?" Like so sincerely. She's like, "This is nothing. This is pathetic. This isn't beauty." And he gets so pissed off, he ends up, I forget what he grabs, but he stabs her with something right in the neck. And then he starts chopping up her body. And the next thing, like, to try and like hide it or whatever. And the next thing you know, you start seeing Tomie's body start regrowing. So there are multiple Tomies growing now out of the chopped up pieces.
Jesus.
Nobody knows but the people that are there seeing it and are most likely dead.
Or will be dead.
Yeah, or will be. One of the two.
Yeah, Tomie doesn't directly kill people, but more indirectly kills people.
Well, the one episode literally has her like a guy. One of the guys, like, he meets Tomie. He starts going out with her while his girlfriend is in the hospital waiting like for a kidney replacement or something, right? She walks in on this girl while the guy's out and is like, "Oh, he wanted to break up with you and yada yada yada, and he hates you really, and he's super interested in me and blah blah blah, all that fun stuff." The guy eventually, like, after she walks off on him, because he's like, "Why'd you have to lie like that to her? She didn't deserve that," or whatever. She walks off because like all pissy. And he's walking down like an alley then later and is like, maybe this is good. Maybe I can start fresh now. I should have broken off things with Tomie anyway. And there she comes from around the corner and is like, oh, there you are. I'm so sorry for what I said. I didn't mean it. We can try this. We can do this. I really do like you." And then he just stabs her in the neck with a thing that, one, I'm not sure what it is. Two, I don't know where the fuck he got it. He just has it. But he stabs her in the neck, and there's blood everywhere. And he then turns himself in. And then it gets more fucked, because he seems like he's mentally broken now. But somebody comes in and is like, "Oh, hey, there was this dead corpse, and the blood type matches perfectly, so we can give this girl a kidney now." Now, knowing what you know about Tomie and regrowing shit, you can kind of see where this is going. That girl gets Tomie's kidney, and she stops eating after a while. And the doctors realize, wait, she looks like she's pregnant. What the fuck's going on here?
Oh, God.
So they cut her open, and Tomie's head explodes out of her body because she's regrowing from the kidney.
And the crazed man is the teacher for the first OVA.
Yes, the crazed man that comes in claiming to be her father is fucking from the very first episode from the very first collection with Tomie. He had killed her with his class, where they're like, look, she was a bitch. All right, class all agrees that Tomie was the worst ever. If we just hide the body and get rid of it, it'll be fine. She shows up later to class like nothing's wrong, and the fucking teacher starts losing his shit because like, I know we killed her. We chopped her into 48 separate pieces. I know she was dead, but she's physically here. She like hugged me and like, what the fuck? So he like ends up like a raving lunatic in a mental asylum.
So
until he needs that kid, that girl needs that kidney in that story.
So there were 12 episodes, 13 if you count the OVA. I believe there's 16-ish volumes of the manga with about, I'm going to guess, like 100-ish stories overall. So there could be enough for a second or potentially third season. So if you like horror, I would highly recommend it because I'm not the biggest fan of horror, so I may not check out something that may be creepier in manga format.
What he's saying is he's a pansy.
Slightly.
These are honestly horror anthologies are my favorite. One of my favorite things to watch.
Oh, let's talk about Slug Girl, where they bathe her in salt and she's just a head.
Oh God.
With the slug as her tongue.
Yes.
Ew.
Her head becomes a shell for the snail inside of her.
I did hear in the manga version they tried cutting it off, but her tongue would just regrow back into the slug. They tried to feed her salt, but it was killing the girl.
Oof.
So they decided to bathe her in salt as the last resort, and that's about the only part we got in the anime.
Oh, I'm so curious to see some more of Oshikiri. The dude who's got like a house that just teleports you to different parallel worlds.
Yeah?
Because like that kind of let off, and I'm like, oh, are we gonna get to go back to this? Because this seems really cool. Because like he and his one schoolmate are like his one schoolmate gets teleported to like one of the parallel worlds where a version of Oshikiri himself is there literally torturing people. Actually, specifically, I think he's looking for like something that'll make him taller, but all of his experimental drugs keep causing freakish mutations.
We did cover about half of them, so I'm going to leave you to discover the other half by yourself, Orion.
All right.
Come on, man. There's one with the title Marionette Mansion.
And Shiver. That was a good one.
Boy.
That was a good one.
Remind me, that's the one with the bugs, right?
Yes.
I thought so. Okay. Yeah, that one's kind of fucked up. You see that one's fucked up. Like that's where the body horror right starts really kicking in.
Yes.
And that's the one where I told you, yeah, this is the one that happened to like the arm of a D&D character that I was watching, of show that I was watching.
Oh my god.
It happened similar, not quite that exactly, but something very similar.
Was it as horrifying or was it more comedic?
More horrifying, I would say.
Because I could see this played out slightly comedic.
Well, see, here's what happened. It would be played more horrifying because the way he got it was like he was reaching in to get something that he was not supposed to have. Like forbidden demon-esque knowledge, essentially.
Oh my god.
And then his arm gets, with that lovely fun stuff that's demon inspired. Not just regular bugs.
Oh my god, yes.
So yes, horrifying. Because he gets to see the progression probably slowly going up the rest of his body. If he hadn't literally cut off his arm.
I think that may be enough horror for the next 12 months, maybe? So, it's time to go back to high school, or potentially middle school, and have some delusions.
Those delusions, get your mind out of the gutter.
Bye.
So, I guess that's it. Ryan gave his outro, I'm giving my outro, and Brandon.
Hello? Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one. Goodbye.